A WHS system rarely falls behind because a team does not care about safety. More often, the business simply changes. A good question to ask yourself and the team is our safety safe? This often is a good starting point. Teams grow, tasks shift, equipment gets replaced, contractors rotate through, deadlines tighten, and small workarounds quietly become the new normal. All too often, we see a disconnect between what we say we do and actual practices in the operations. Here are 5 signs your WHS system may already be behind, and they're signs leaders must spot in the day-to-day reality of the business. Have you got evidence the systems and processes are being used and understood? That's where SafeAlign can help. We work alongside teams to identify WHS gaps, clarify ownership, and align day-to-day work with business policies and procedures. If even a few of these feel familiar, it's worth taking a closer look before the gap turns into cost, disruption, or scrutiny. First, risk assessments are only useful when they reflect the current task, environment, equipment, and workforce. A risk assessment can be well written and still become outdated if the work around it has changed. A practical example. A manual handling risk assessment was completed several years ago. Since then, the site layout has changed, production volume has increased, new workers have joined, and the mechanical aid listed as the main control is not always available. On paper, the control exists. In practice, the team has developed a workaround to keep the job moving. This does not necessarily mean the team is doing the wrong thing. It may mean the documented system has not kept up with operational reality. When the paperwork says one thing and the operation looks different in real life, your system is already out of sync. Second, everyone agrees there's a problem, but no one clearly owns the fix. That's where risk starts to drift between teams. When responsibility sits between roles or departments, good intentions can turn into open actions, delayed fixes, and repeated follow-ups. A practical example: a hazard has been raised several times. Operations says maintenance needs to address it. Maintenance says the site manager needs to approve the cost. The WHS lead says the action has already been reported. Everyone is aware of the issue, but no single person owns the next step. Third, records are not just for audits. Good records help a business understand what has been done, what still needs attention, and whether controls are being used consistently. When records are scattered, leaders can lose visibility even when the team is doing a lot of the right work. Training records are stored in email attachments, toolbox talks are kept in notebooks, contractor inductions sit in a folder at reception, maintenance evidence is held in another system, and incident follow-up is tracked in a spreadsheet only one person uses. In this situation, the issue may not be that work is not happening. The issue is that the evidence is hard to find, hard to trust, and hard to use for decision-making. Fourth, the same incidents, hazards, or near misses keep coming back. Different day, same pattern. Recurring incidents, near misses, or hazard reports are useful signals. They often show where a control is not working as intended, where a procedure is unclear, or where the team needs better support. If the issue repeats, the system may be recording problems without actually changing the conditions behind them. SafeAlign is built to work with all levels of the business to understand the problems and risks before they become an issue, incident, or an accident. Fifth, safety isn't part of the monthly management rhythm. If leadership reviews production, cost, and delivery, safety needs the same discipline. When it drops out of regular review, gaps widen quietly until they show up as delays, investigations, or avoidable cost. SafeAlign helps you identify hidden WHS gaps before they become costly, so you can protect your people, support operations, and strengthen accountability. The aim is not to create more meetings. The aim is to make WHS part of how the business already reviews performance, risk, and operational priorities. If any of these 5 signs are showing up in your business, now is the time to take a closer look at your system with SafeAlign. Call GSD Safety on 1300-473-723 or go to www.safealign.com.au.